Mary was only 12 when her life changed forever. One afternoon, the strange man near the park grabbed her. No matter how hard she screamed and fought, she couldn't break free. When it was over, she lay broken, afraid, and in pain, her world shattered. Days later, Mary's body began to feel different. She didn't understand why she felt sick and weak, but soon, the truth became clear: she was pregnant. At just 12 years old, Mary carried a pain too heavy for her small heart, a burden no child should ever bear. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Mary was a 12-year-old girl who lived in a small house with her mom, Mildred, and her dad, Femi. Mary was very kind. She always helped her mom with chores like washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, and taking care of her younger brother, Peter. Mary was also a good student. She liked going to school and learning new things. But there was one thing Mary did that made her a little different from the other kids. Every day, Mary walked to school alone because it was not far from her house. On her way, she would pass a man sitting under a big tree near the park. This man wasn't like the others. He had messy hair, old clothes, and always talked to himself. The people in the neighborhood called him Madman because he acted strange. The other kids in the neighborhood were afraid of him. They would walk quickly past him, or they would cross to the other side of the street to avoid him. But Mary didn't feel afraid of the man. She felt sorry for him because he was always alone. So, one day, Mary decided to do something nice. She asked her mom if she could pack some extra food in her bag for him. Her mom didn't like the idea. "Mary, don't talk to him. People say he's not right in the head. Be careful," her mom warned. But Mary didn't listen. She wanted to help. The next day, Mary took a sandwich and a small bottle of water with her to school. When she saw the man sitting under the tree, she stopped. She walked up to him, smiling, and said, "Excuse me, sir. I brought you some food." The man looked up at her with wide eyes. He didn't say anything at first, but then he took the food from her hands. "Thank you, little girl," he said in a deep, strange voice. Mary smiled and waved goodbye, feeling happy that she had helped him. The next day, she brought him food again. And the next day, and the next. She did this every day. She felt good knowing that the man would have something to eat, even though no one else cared about him. One afternoon, as Mary was walking home from school, the man wasn't sitting under the tree. She looked around, worried. Then, she saw him standing behind the tree, staring at her. His eyes were wide, and he looked very strange. "Hello, Mary," the man said. His voice was shaky, but his words were clear. "Hello," Mary said, feeling a little nervous. She didn't know why he was standing there instead of sitting on the ground like usual. "You are so kind to me," the man said. "I don't have many friends, but you always give me food. I won't forget you." Mary smiled, but she felt uncomfortable. "I have to go now," she said, starting to walk away. But the man stepped in front of her. He grabbed her arm tightly. "You're not going anywhere," he said. "You've been kind to me, and now I want something in return." Mary was scared. "Please, let me go," she begged, trying to pull her arm free. The man didn't listen. He pulled her towards him, and Mary felt her heart race. She didn't know what to do. "Let me go," she cried again, but her voice was weak. She felt trapped and scared. Finally, the man let go of her arm and walked away, mumbling to himself. Mary stood there, frozen, her heart still beating fast. She didn't know what had just happened, but she knew it had been wrong. She quickly ran home, tears in her eyes, but she didn't tell anyone what had happened. She didn't know how to say it. She was too scared. The next few days were hard for Mary. She tried to forget about what happened, but it was always in the back of her mind. She was afraid to walk past the man again, but she kept doing it anyway. Every time she saw him, she felt her stomach tighten. She didn't want to be near him, but she also didn't want to stop being kind to him. As the weeks went by, Mary began to feel different. She felt sick sometimes, and her stomach hurt. She didn't know what was happening, but she knew something was wrong. One day, her mom noticed that her daughter was not eating as much as she used to. She seemed tired and always looked sad. "Mary, what's going on?" her mom asked, worried. "I don't feel well," Mary said quietly, looking down at the floor. Then, one day, Mary realized what was happening. She was going to have a baby. Her heart sank. She didn't know how it happened, but she knew who was responsible. It was the man who had hurt her. She didn't want to keep it a secret anymore. Mary's mind raced, and her hands shook as she finally told her mom. "Mom, I'm going to have a baby," she whispered, her voice shaking. Her mom was shocked. "What? How?" she asked, her face pale. Mary felt tears fill her eyes as she finally told her mom everything. She told her about the man and how he had grabbed her and hurt her. Her mom held her tightly, feeling both sad and angry. She didn't know what to say, but she promised to help Mary. The next few days were hard for Mary and her family. Mary couldn't go to school anymore. She stayed home, hiding from the world. People in the neighborhood started to talk about her. Some said she shouldn't have been nice to the man, others said she was too young for this to happen. No one understood her pain. Months passed, and Mary gave birth to a little girl. She named her Hope. Every time she looked at Hope's face, she felt a little bit of happiness. But she also felt sadness because of everything that had happened. Mary took care of Hope the best she could. But the pain of the past never left her. The man was never caught. People stopped talking about the story, but Mary never forgot it. Every time she looked at Hope, she felt the weight of what had happened. Mary grew up and became a good mom to Hope. But she always remembered the price of kindness. She learned that sometimes, being kind can hurt. And even though she had given so much love, the hurt never fully went away.